Hi everybody, today is March 12th, Friday. Thanks for listening to the Search Buzz Video Recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz. This is the news we covered over the past week at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. It's been, I think, about 2 weeks since I did a video. I've been in Israel for the past 2 weeks or so. I did do text version recaps, so if you missed those recaps, I'm not going to go ahead and do them all in the video here. Go ahead and look at the archives at seroundtable.com. and you'll be able to see all those recaps in text version. One thing we did when I was in Israel, besides for vacationing and family stuff, was I ran a small XMX conference called SphinnCon. We ran it about in 2008 as well, but this year we ran it again one more time. 2 years ago we ran it, and it's basically a small XMX. It was really nice. We hosted it at the Jerusalem College of Technology. Some people from America came, like Vanessa Fox came over. We had a Google rep come from Dublin, from the Webmaster team over there, search quality strategist, Tomer Honen. He came as well, which is great. We had basically 3 sessions going on at once, all between 11:30 and 5:30 on this past Sunday, which was on March 7th, I believe. It was really good. So we have a long recap. I posted a long recap about the SphinnCon event at seroundtable.com on March 8th. It was a lot of fun, a lot of good pictures, a lot of great feedback. So if you want to take a look at that, go to March 8th at seroundtable.com and you can read all about that. So that's where I was over the past 2 weeks. This week, March 11th, I posted about the Yahoo Search update. Yahoo announced they rolled out a new search update. Nobody really saw it coming, so I guess they pre-announced it way before they actually did anything, I guess. And then I posted a thread over Webmaster World, and we did see some feedback from people. Some of that feedback includes people saying they saw small, but statistically insignificant increase from Yahoo. One person said they saw a steady increase from traffic, but then it all died out. 20%, they lost 20% of their traffic from Yahoo over a certain time. Some people are saying Yahoo now loves Wikipedia. So there's lots of different things going on. A lot of people are asking, why is Yahoo bothering when Yahoo announced that Bing is going to go ahead and overtake their search engine? I think maybe it has to do with Yahoo going through their search index, maybe cleaning things up, making them more Bing ready. I'm not exactly sure. Yahoo didn't address that issue. 2 Google-related, Webmaster-related things was earlier this week we reported that Google they had a proposal months ago about them being able to index AJAX. So they submitted a proposal on how webmasters could code up their AJAX in order for Google to crawl that content behind the AJAX form. And that proposal was issued back in October 2009. Back in January, Vanessa Fox thought the feature was live, and it kind of was for some people. But then Vanessa Fox uncovered that it actually was live last week, and Google confirmed that with Vanessa. So if you do have a lot of AJAX on your website and you want to have Google crawl through that form, that AJAX form, what you should do is take a look at our post at March 8th at seroundtable.com and go through the various links to figure out how to do that. There's a lot of technical documentation on how to actually do that. Another Webmaster-related thing that's going on is Google has shut down their site performance indicator in Webmaster Tools in the labs. Site performance is basically an indicator to show how fast your site is compared to others, and obviously Google's going to be using site speed and how fast your site is as part of one of the ranking factors for your website. So they released this site performance report, which had a lot of bugs because it was in labs, but they took it down for a little bit. They said they're upgrading it, and when they bring it back, it'll have some new features. One of those new features, I suspect, will be what we call a trustworthy indicator to tell you how trustworthy or how much data Google knows about your website in order for them to say that your site speed is actually good or bad. And obviously there'll probably be some other updates as well. So definitely take a look at that. We have some more details at seroundtable.com on March 10th. Also, Yahoo released their Yahoo Search Marketing desktop client, which allows you to edit your Yahoo Search Marketing ads via a desktop client. It was in beta until this week, and Yahoo pulled it out of beta. I guess just to make some buzz. Again, the question is, why are they bothering when Bing's ad center is going to go ahead and power Yahoo search ads? I guess they have nothing to lose by releasing it out of beta. We have more details about that on March 8th. So there's a lot of buzz going on about Google's real-time search. You know, when you do a search in Google, and up comes that scrollable area where it shows Twitter results and Facebook results and MySpace results and stuff like that. The question is, do people actually look at it? Does it make a difference? Do you want to get your results in the real-time web of Google search results? And OneUp released a study, an eye tracking study. It didn't. I think it tracked about 44 people or so, but it showed that about 73% never heard of real-time results, and most people actually ignored them when they saw the real-time results on the search result page on Google. People actually ignored them. So the question is, should you as an SEO go ahead and continue to optimize for that? I guess it can't hurt, but in terms of Google and Yahoo and Bing, Google's supposedly spending $15 million to bring in real-time results, whereas Bing is spending about $10 million to do so. Is it worth their time? Is it worth the money? That's the big question. All right, let's move over to some Google updates in terms of their user interface. We have 3 things to report. One is Google has improved their Google Shopping feature, specifically on mobile devices, where it actually shows you inventory levels. So if you are looking for example, a Wii Fit, and you have your iPhone with you, you just basically type in Wii Fit into Google Shopping on your mobile device. Out comes a blue indicator showing which stores have inventory levels, and then when you click through, it shows you which store and how much inventory they have of that product. So that's a neat feature. Obviously, if you're traveling and you're going around, you want to find a product now. That's a pretty neat feature. You have to be obviously in Google Merchant Center. You got to be in the local business center, and you got to fill out a special form if you're a merchant to actually participate in this beta type of release. Another feature Google added this week is related to maps. They added bike directions and a layer for bike layers. Basically, if you now do a search from one point to one point in Google Maps, it gives you directions, and obviously you have the driving directions, you have the walking directions, I believe you have the transit directions, and now you also have a new directions, which is basically bicycling directions. And they overlay on their maps either a dark green indicator, which indicates a trail for a bike. They have a light green indicator that indicates a dedicated bike lane alongside a road, meaning roads that have dedicated bike lanes. And they also have a dotted green indicator, which has roads without bike lanes, but they probably are suitable for biking. So you want to take a look at that, maps.google.com/biking. Finally, Google announced that they're testing TV search with Android-enabled, I guess, boxes, some DVR boxes or something. And they're doing this TV search feature with Dish Network. It's pretty cool what's going to happen. Obviously, Google's very powerful when it comes to search, and Google's more and more getting involved on the desktop, on the TV set, which is probably the future for Google itself. Let's talk about Microsoft. Microsoft announced that they are going to do a major ad push in the UK. Right now, I think they have about 3% search market share in the UK. Google holds about 90% search market share, and obviously Microsoft wants Bing to have more of a market share in the UK. So what they announced is they're going to be doing a major ad push in the UK. They're going to be spending lots and lots of money to go ahead and make a difference and try to capture some market share. Later on in the week, on March 10th, we posted an actual commercial which is part of the major ad blitz that Microsoft is going ahead and perform. And you can take a look at that video at March 10th at SEOroundtable.com. I also found out this morning that Microsoft will be sponsoring The Simpsons show in the UK in order to help promote and show ads for Bing. So you might want to take a look at that. Since we're talking about Microsoft's new portal, MSN, MSN basically launched a new portal today. It was in beta for a while, but Microsoft now has a new look and feel. If you go to MSN.com, you'll see the new look and feel for MSN.com. Greg Sterling reported about 50% of Bing's queries come from MSN, the portal. And I did a post over at Search Engine yesterday showing that first came MSN was the 50% or so of the traffic to Bing. Then came, I believe, Facebook, which they have a search deal with. Then came Windows Live Mail, which is their mail product. And then after that came Google in terms of traffic being sent to Bing. So it's pretty interesting to see that. After that was Yahoo. But again, MSN is a major drive of traffic to Bing, and them redesigning could have a major impact on how much traffic is sent to Bing. Reported this morning that Google's news archives, basically a way to search older newspapers in Google News, had added a new feature. This is not blogged about by Google at all, but they mentioned it in the Google News Help Forum. It's basically a feature to browse this newspaper. And I posted about it again on March 12th. You can basically go to a news archive. If that paper is digitized by Google, you can click on a Browse the Newspaper feature, which lets you sift through the newspaper through the various months and years to see different information. And let's end off with just two Google Doodle things that didn't really happen. March 8th was actually International Women's Day. Google did not have any logo up on Google.com. They did, however, have it on Google Russia. Supposedly, International Women's Day is a very big, was basically invented over in Russia and is very big and celebrated in Russia. So they did have a special logo up in Russia for International Women's Day. But a lot of people complained that it wasn't more international, meaning it wasn't on Google.com, wasn't any other Google property but Google Russia. So there was some complaints about that. And another Google Doodle funny complaint was that there was no logo for Chuck Norris turning 70 years old. Chuck Norris is one of those older actors who has pretty funny following. And Google, if you do a search for Google in Google for Chuck Norris, when you search find Chuck Norris in Google and hit "I'm feeling lucky," up comes a page that says Google won't search for Chuck Norris because it knows you don't find Chuck Norris, he finds you. That's kind of a joke that's played, and Google and Chuck Norris have some type of history in terms of that. But outside of that, he turned 70 on March 10th, and some people were upset that they didn't have a doodle. Obviously, it's kind of humorous and funny overall. So that pretty much recaps the Search Buzz video recap. Again, my name is Barry Schwartz. This is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable over the past week. Today, again, it's Friday, March 12th. I'm not going to be showing my screen at the same time this time because I'm just getting back into it, and hopefully this news was pretty enjoyable, and we will definitely, I believe, see you next week, and hopefully you had a good time with this video. Thanks. Bye.